Coming up on the 100k Sunday roast, we jumped straight on after the final siren of Geelong GWS. That game was a banger. As usual, we celebrate the winners, roast the losers, and give you all the best odds on the bet you weren't on but wish you were, Das.
Jev, it's been awesome. What was it? 6 games decided by under 10 points?
For the round. That is nuts.
Jev, the Blues are back. We finally win a Friday night game in the annual ass kicking. You boys get absolutely bounced by the Bombers. Oh, you guys don't want to miss Jev's reaction, guys. You know where to find us at 100k Sports. Like and subscribe. Find us on Apple, Spotify, YouTube, Instagram. Send it to your nan. Happy Mother's Day to all the mothers out there.
Do you know how stupid I looked at Marvel Stadium last night? But you want to know when I don't look stupid? The 100k merch, which is live right now. New hat, hoodie. This is our best t-shirt.
And now, 100k Sports and PointsBet presents the Sunday Roast.
Welcome back to the Sunday Roast, the show that celebrates the winners and roasts the losers. The show that gives you all the best odds of the bets you weren't on but wish you were. This is the Round 9 edition of the Sunday Roast, brought to you by PointsBet. Joining me as always, Darcy Ballard. Dobe, how are you, brother?
Jev, I'm unbelievable. What a game of footy we just watched. Usually we start from the very start. We start Thursday night, we work our way through. But let's just go from right where we finished off. So as it sits now, it's about 6:15. We've just finished Giants and Geelong. It's fresh in our minds. It's too good of a game not to watch. If you haven't watched any footy this round, or if you don't know about these two sides, the Giants have won the last 5 games down in Geelong. I don't know what other team has a sort of record like that against them there. Watching the game, I just kept feeling like the Cats were going to eventually run over the top of them. They had their chances late. They bottled them. Sean Manor probably could have kicked 2 to the top of the goal square. I reckon Tom Green got on his head. He tried to kick a goal from 50. He had another quick snap. I think he tried to get the other one back when he had other players at the top of the goal square. It was an awesome game. Like, you forget that Hogan kicked 7. He's just like, oh, fuck, there's another one. There's another one. Jake Stringer started hot. All the good players played really well. Usually touches get lost at Kardinia Park, but the top-end guys always get their hand on the footy. I don't know. I can't remember where you had Bailey Smith on your pyramid, but he's going up and up. Every single game, he stands out. Every single time you watch him, he doesn't fumble. He one-touches. He knows when the pressure's on, where the pressure's on. He can get a quick handball over the top, gets 1-2s. He's kicking so bloody good.
Doesn't make bad decisions, does he? Yeah.
He's so good to watch. It was a perfect Sunday game. That is a perfect Sunday game. Just
3:20 Sunday when you're hungover and you're on the couch and you watch a game like that. They were just going goal for goal all day, just punch for punch. It was like Conor McGregor versus Nate Diaz 2 when they went 5 rounds, just punch for punch. Every time GWS went 2 goals in front, Geelong would kick 2 in a row. It was just an absolute banger. 7 is a day. Yep. Kicking 7 on Geelong, any player that ever kicks 7 on Geelong is an absolute day. This is why I'll never, ever quit on GWS. If you've got Jesse Hogan at one end, who I would say is the number 1 best forward in the comp, form probably doesn't say it this year, but if they're all lined out in front of me and the Swans got to pick one for this year and next year, I would take Jesse Hogan. And Sam Taylor, I think, is based nearly inarguably the best. There's Wiedering and stuff. Top 2, top 3, centre-half back in the comp. You just can't quit a team that has those 2 players. Guys like Tom Green, who gets 37. If Finn Callahan can start kicking the ball like Nick Dacos, he might be the greatest player of all time. Watching him burst through the centre and how often he does it in a game at full speed, he goes all the way back, he fetches the ball, he gets involved in a handball chain, then he's just bolting through the middle of the ball. If he just fixes his kick in that, he's not a bad kick. He just, today he was a little bit of a butcher. He will be like on Brownlow watch next year. He was unbelievable in the first half. Yeah, as you said, Stringer was hot. Ollie Dempsey for 2 for the 5th week in a row. Is that the best bet in football?
Yeah.
Like, just everything about that game was just great.
And for the price point, it will justify why it is the best bet in football, which we will get into. Touching on your Finn Callahan point, when people watch Danger, you know when he attacks the ball and he goes 0 to 100. Finn is the only person I've seen this year. There was 2 contests where they both went in at that fast rate, and Finn came out with one, but I was like, oh my God, look how quick Finn is. Yeah. He's so bloody explosive. There's a few times he looked behind, but like you want him to keep going. Like just keep running, keep trying to bite off those kicks, because he had that one to Jesse Hogan through the middle of the ground. There was an absolute sizzler. Like kick Jesse Hogan open, and the left foot just looks awesome. There is actually no one we can really roast in this game. Like we can say Shannon Neal maybe dropped a few. Cadman probably wasn't getting involved as much as you need to, but the chips didn't fall his way. It's going towards Hogan. So
And Blitzarves, you need to go back and kick that 30 metres out directly in front, hits the post. How's when Danger had on the ground,
Yeah,
Blitzarves just got up and run off. He just bolted and
he didn't want
they
it.
had to give it back, and he's just not that guy. You're
He
not
didn't
that
want
guy,
it.
pal.
He
You got to
did
go back
not
and kick
want
them.
that.
Just so many little moments. Tom Green's goal from the 50 in the arc that he just slotted in the third quarter. Geelong had that shot twice in the last quarter. They missed it both. The second gamer tapping it to Harvey Thomas, who ran into the open goal. Like, just that little moment there. They just got that right. He kicked it. Sam Taylor's last quarter, he's one of the most competitive best defenders I've ever seen. He was just unbelievable to us. Like, unbelievable. He is just a machine. What did he end up? Jesse Hogan's had 7 and 22. I want to know how many touches Sam Taylor has had. I'm just looking it up now. He only had 13 touches. How many marks? 8 marks. It felt like he had about 40 touches. He was in that many contests. He can always get a fist in. Just everything about this game. As Bailey Smith, the only bad decision he makes, and he usually kicks them, is his eyes light up for goal anywhere within 60. He loves a shot at goal. Him and Nicky Dacos, they've never met a shot they don't like.
Nah.
Whitfield 30, Holmes 30, Callahan 29, Ash 25. Just everyone got ball. Everyone kicked goals. I cannot believe Hogan's kicked 7. Thought Toby Green snapped his ankle at 3/4 time. That looked bad, but he seemed to be all right.
Yeah.
Stringer's done another hammy. I'm glad we've started this game because I'm just high. That was a banger. So
if there's only good thing, silver lining for the Giants, they've got so many of those mid forwards that you think that they can get someone else to slot back in when Darcy Jones comes back. But the Cats are 7th and the Giants are 8th. Like, what a banger that was for 7 and 8th.
Yeah.
Like, it just brings the competition again so short. Like the Hawks, I'm looking at it now, Hawks, Brisbane, Suns, Adelaide, Dogs, Cats, Giants.
Can you see the 8 changing?
I was just going to say, like, that looks like a really good top 8 to me.
For GWS being 8th, where I still think they'll probably be pushing top 4, I can't see anyone coming in. Freo, we'll get to Freo in a minute. You might think Carlton. They're still a bit off it.
Bombers, I don't think are playing finals. Carlton is very wishful thinking for me. We'd have to go on a run.
Freo's the only one, but they're not good enough.
Yeah,
I refuse to quit the Swans, but they're not good enough. That looks like the 8, doesn't it?
And yeah, those teams will just interchange. So I've got some odds, Jev. Right before the game, so shattered. Every week you can get Hogan for 7. Not this week.
Really?
Hey, you can only get him for 6. So 6 goals was $29. I'm assuming if they had 7 this week, it would have been 51. What it usually is for 7. For 2 goals, Stengel was $240. Sean Mannon was $250. Dempsey, Jev, $310 for 2 goals.
For the 5th week in a row. 5 weeks in a row he's kicked 2. We had it in the 100K multi and it went out last minute. What were we thinking?
Stringer for 2 at $3.25, and then for touches after it drops off, it gets pretty small. So Tom Green for 35 was $2.65. Bailey Smith had 30, which was $1.87. Whitfield also had 30, $1.71. Max Holmes, Jev, he doesn't usually get that much of it, but he got 30 today at $4.50, and Finn Callahan was the best at 25 at $1.66. So all the 20s were pretty short after that, but that was a banger. That was an absolute cracking game.
Absolute cracker. Dust, new merch. I think it drops, it's Sunday now. I think it drops Sunday. If you listen to this Monday, new merch. This white T-shirt is the best T-shirt we do. This is an absolute banger. Yep. 100K hat, which you've been wearing the shit out of. The hoodie's still available. We've got the baseball tees. Dropping now, the new merch. Got to look that good. All right, Dust, let's go back to the Thursday night game. The Pies get a great win over in Optus Stadium. The Pies travel so well. But I think, let me cook you for a minute.
All right, go.
I reckon Freo fans, AFL fans, everyone, the whole building realised Freo will never, ever win a premiership while Justin Longmuir is the coach on Friday night. And it's whether they fire him now and get an interim in this year, or at the end of the year, he's gone and they've got to get a guy. And they've nearly got to go steal Ross Lyon again, basically. They've got to go back to that. Well, I don't know, John Longmire, anyone. Let's just play the say it out loud game, right?
Go.
You get embarrassed Friday night. You travel like Guinness and get embarrassed Friday night against the Saints.
Yep.
You have bring your mouth guards to training night. Bring your mouth guards to training during the week, and you're doing contested ball during the week because you weren't tough enough against the Saints. Collingwood leave 5 senior players at home out of their best 22 to give them a rest. So they come over with a couple of their twos players.
Yep.
You hold Nick Dacos to under 20 disposals. You hold All Australian Steel side bottom. He gets subbed off on 7 disposals. So they combine for 25 disposals. They're Collingwood's 2 All Australians right now. And you still lose the football game at home at a Friday night. Craig McRae coached the absolute jocks off of Justin Longmire.
The shoes.
He coached the jocks off of him. And it just shows how far ahead Collingwood are as an organisation and a football club and a football program and just a building at whole, as they just rocked up full of confidence, got the job done, business was handled, 4 points, stood on business and got out of there. And Freo just like, oh, how do we not win that? And they're whinging and stuff. It's like, no, the whole program just isn't good enough. I think Caleb Sarong's overrated. Everyone else doesn't. Everyone else thinks he's a top 10 midfielder in the game. You got Caleb Sarong, Andrew Brayshaw, Josh Treacy, Luke Ryan, Alex Pearce, you get Shai Bolton in the building. Got all these superstar players. How are you not beating a Collingwood side with their 2 All-Australians are down for the night? Nick Dacos had a corky or something. He's limping around. They're missing 5 players and you just get done by, I don't know who beat him, Lockie Schultz, Jack Crisp, Jamie Elliott kicks 6. Bobby Hill gets you. Like, it's just embarrassing. It's like, I don't know. Am I being too harsh? You had to win that football game at home on Friday night if you're a serious contender. And now that you didn't, you just go, you probably agree with me, don't you? They will not win. Caleb Sarong or Alex Pearce will not hold the Premiership Cup up on the podium with Justin Longmuir. They will not win a Premiership with Justin Longmuir.
And not this year. Definitely not this year.
Not this year. But even if he comes, their program isn't good enough. They need a bigger, better coach.
So you're lucky enough that their fans aren't that big in Victoria, or else they would have got booed out of Marvel. Like, if that was a Victorian side that did that against the Saints, they would have got booed out of the building last week. So At home, if anyone did stay up and watch the game, which I'm not sure how many people did, because 8-10 our time, that keeps you up.
The final siren went on up at about 2:15 in the morning before work. Fuck.
Yeah, it was cooked. So, but you could hear the crowd booing. It got to the third quarter. Jordan Clark was he was still trying to run, trying to push. And then everyone just sort of put the brakes on. Then they start kicking side to side. And the crowd's just like, fucking just keep moving it. Oh. Like, they just put the brakes on. One person I want to just hang a bit of shit on. Jai Misjev. Maybe it's my fault that I put him in Dopes Thursday. Maybe
we'll get to that in a minute.
But if you're looking straight at the screen, and they're kicking to the left of screen, why is he just sitting up at the top left part of the screen on the boundary? What is he doing there? Jev, you know who their best hit-up target was all night? Isaiah Dudley. How many tick leads did he do coming out? Yeah. And then they hit him. People were sitting in the road of Treacy. Where is a miss? He was genuine on the top left side of the screen, or he was trying to push up the wing and get a touch. And then when they changed the camera around, you could see him running back towards goal. Not one did he tick lead back up and come back at the fall. And I'm just like, can we get some movement? And no, that's why Treacy was getting so angry. They're kicking it in, and there's a man sitting in the hole, and not one kick went over the back, and they'll mark it every time. And then Collingwood would just go end to end. Like, it was, as you said, it was impressive. And the fact that when Nick got injured, you know what they're like? And exact same for every other side. If you have the best player in the comp or your best player in the comp, play them inside the 50 one-on-one. They've got more pull than any other 18th ranked person in that side who's a defender who's probably maybe ranked 150th in the league. And then you've got him one-on-one. You can either put it to a lead. They're way more advanced if they have to go up above. But if not, kick it to grass. Their skill's so good, they're just going to one touch or make something happen. So that was an awesome coaching move. The fact you could still keep him in the game. Like, I think he only kicked the 1 goal, but he had 3 or 4 shots. Like, he looks so dangerous there. So, Nick, congrats on getting through that win. And, they just did exactly what they had to. Jamie Elliott's having an all-star season.
Yeah. No wonder, Collingwood fans should be wrapped. They are in the prime position to have another premiership tilt this year. A win like that on the road, now I think they get a longer break, and it's just like they're in the top 4. They don't have to travel twice for the rest of the year. 12 of the other games are in Victoria. Like, they are just primed us to be perfectly right by September. As long as Nick doesn't get a season-ending injury, they can win the premiership this year. It is so impressive. And it was me last year. I thought Craig McRae was a bit of a fuckwit. And I was so critical of him. And it's just like, you look at their assistant coaches. They've got Brendan Bolton, Justin Lepich. I can't remember who else, but like guys that have coached, been senior coaches, coach big programs, and they must just have their building sorted. And as you said with Pendles, when he spoke to Howie, they only do about 6 training drills, and they just make sure they nail those 6 training drills, and their game is just in such good order. Everyone out there just knows what's going on, don't they? Like they are just, they know their roles. All 23 of them. It's so impressive.
They're officially in the same business as Geelong and Brisbane. We're in it to win premierships. That's it. That's all we're doing now. Like we don't care about making fine because we expect that. Like Geelong, this is what Geelong is for you. It's premiership or nothing. Like we don't really care about just making it to a semi. Like that means nothing for us now. Brisbane have been the same for a while now. And Collingwood, I didn't think that they'd be rebounding this quickly, but awesome. Some odds. Clark Jev for 30 touches was $6.50. Brayshaw for 30, $1.75. Luke Ryan, Jev, Skinfolds Ryan for 30 touches at $12.
And 6 kicked on him.
Yep, I wouldn't have had that in a multi, but I don't know who would have. Maybe his family. For 25, Jack Crisp had an absolute belter. He played so well. He had 29 and 2, but for 29, he was for 25, he was $6. Shy Bolton for 25, Jev, $9.
Nice. That was best game in a Freo jumper.
He did look really good in the midfield. He just gets his hand on it. Sarong just got 25 at $1.30. Morgs' man, Matthew Johnson, had 20 at $1.80, and he burnt about 5 blokes trying to have a shot. After snags, Jamie Elliott for 6 was $67. 67, Jeff, for 6.
That's
Bobby Hill for 3 was $4.75. Chris for 2 was $21. Tracy for 2 was $1.47. Big Paddy Voss gets his chest out for $2.40. And Alex Pearce also kicked a snag as a defender, which was $8.
Just Caleb Sarong does not win must-win games. He does not win must-win games. And everyone comes at me when he wins his 9th Ross Glendenning medal, when he beats the worst team in the last 10 years like he does every year. So I went with it in the preseason. They had to win once in the last 4. He averaged 30 touches for the whole year. They had to win once in the last 4 games to make the finals. Then he averaged 22 touches the rest of the year. They didn't win a game. All right, let's just say Geelong round 1, it wasn't a must-win, but to set at the tone for your season, you go and win that. Nah, they lost. Fair enough. They go win at home. They lose to the Swans, whatever. Then they come back to Melbourne. They come to the G. They get the Ds who hadn't won a game at that point. It's not a must-win in terms of ladder, but it's a must-win in terms of let's win on the MCG today to prove we're going to do this in September.
Yeah,
they get pantsed. They get pantsed. They come back to Melbourne to play St Kilda. They get embarrassed again. Sarong has a shocker. And now you get the Pies at home. Everyone's biggest game of the year when the Pies come to town. And he has another shocker and he doesn't win another must-win. I hope people are starting to realise that this bloke's a little bit overrated. And I'm not saying he's like the 50th best player in the comp. I think he's closer to the 20th best midfielder than the 5th best midfielder in the comp, basically. I just think it's like the Brock Purdy conversation. Yes, his numbers look like he's a top 5 quarterback, but he's probably close to the 13th best quarterback. I know we're talking about another sport. I just think Caleb Sarong's probably closer to the 20th best midfielder than he is the 5th best midfielder. And I get so over the praise he gets. Anyway, let's move on to Friday night.
Yes.
Cracker of a game. You were there. Tell us about what's going on in your life to get to this game. The Blues get it done. The MCG Friday night. It was funny watching the Saints on the MCG. It was really weird at home watching St Kilda play on the MCG. But anyway, talk to me.
Jev, this was awesome. So we went there. Me and Jacko got some seats. Level 1. I'm about 4 rows back. It's awesome. We're sitting there on the wing. Some St Kilda supporter said that I shouldn't be sitting there. He's like, this is St Kilda Bay. I wouldn't let you guys fucking sit here. Jacko's like, mate, we bought tickets. Shut up. Who cares? Some guy, mate, Jeff, there's 70,000 people at the G and he's having a go at me because I'm sitting in this bay. Yeah, absolutely taking the piss, fella. Anyway, we go through. They kick the first few. Jack Higgins gets on a roll. But for the first time, I just never felt worried. I'm like, I just think we've got a good enough side in tonight. They don't play there enough. Charlie kicked 3 goals. So 2 in the first, 1 to start the second. I thought he was going to kick 10. I thought he was going to get 10, almost didn't get cited for the rest of the game. I thought Walsh did some really good things. He didn't get a lot of it, but I thought his damage was a lot better. He was bouncing off tackles, sidestepping, actually running through, and then and then Harry. He finally got up above it a little bit more, started to take some more marks. I know he duffed one towards the late in the game, but that set shot right at the end was so clutch. It was just like, deep breath, let's go. Let's not let him score again. I went back and listened to the commentary, and they're like, I think there was like 90 seconds left. They're like, do you kick it inboard and try and get another target? And then Jason Dunstall was like, nah, because when you're in this spot, you actually have the opportunity to ice the game. That's the carrot dangling. He went through and just slotted it. It was awesome. It was just, I thought it was a really good game. I don't know what it looked like live on tally, but watching it there, it just like, even though it wasn't super high scoring, it looked good. Mateus Philippou was getting up and about. The St Kilda fans were real happy to see him. But we had a few of our younger guys. Lord stepped up. Jackson Binns, it's his first game in for the year, was running his ass off. Like, you can tell the younger guys, and that's what I'm saying. I'd rather him play than have Doherty run around like he's trying to turn on eggshells barefoot. You got a kid that's so hungry to try and be in the game. So I enjoyed it. It was fun. It's so good going to footy. Like, and the fact you got Friday night, you got the rest of the weekend. If you win, then you're just nice and happy. What were some things you saw from it? Also, I want to touch on Silvani is having his best AFL season.
Oh, my God.
He's phenomenal. Like, he's phenomenal.
That, like, he is the definition, and I know it's in his blood, of a blue. Like, he is a bagger.
Yeah.
What a player.
How good is he?
I remember in preseason, like, I don't rate Carlton's defense that much. And Kingy and stuff are on the Essendon, they're like, yeah, Jack Silvani's playing across half back. He looks great. I'm like, Silvani off an ACL is going to fix your backline, is it? And he has been sensational. He's just a competitive dog. His kicking is amazing. He takes on kicks others. He hits the kicks that Mitch McGovern butchers, basically. Like, he's so impressive. Dust, I want to give a shout out to Nasai Wangani Malira. What a player. What a player. I think he wears the crown right now for the best halfback in the league. Like, he is a star. He's a pleasure to watch. I remember we were speaking to some Saints fans this week. They say he's the hardest player in the comp to tackle. And I don't know if it's that lean body and the way he runs with those, he gets the knees up high, big, long legs. He just looks so hard to be able to grab and stuff. His sidestep must be so big. He's a star. This was just an awesome game. Who got the chocolates in Wilkie versus Curnow? So Curnow kicked 2 in a minute, and then, as you said, he kicked 3. But Wilkie, for the rest of the game, he probably blanketed him for what? 2-3 quarters. 3 quarters.
He didn't get cited, did he?
Yeah.
I'm like, is he gone off?
Like, yeah, Wilkie was great, but for 3 minutes or for 10 minutes, he just took him to the cleaners. You won by 15 points. He's kicked his 3, so was he the difference in the game? Harry Mackay has become the Iceman. In the fourth quarter, he can be nowhere for 3 quarters. He's the he's the best down the line target in the comp.
Yes, he is.
Puts those big mitts up and he clunks them. And he did it against Geelong the other week. He had one of the best fourth quarters I've ever seen of just icing the game. They just kept doing that dump kick down the line. He just kept clunking it or halving the contest. And then on Friday night, he goes back, he kicks the snag. He was just great in that fourth quarter. He just iced the game. And you're like, good on you. Like, that's your role in the team. Situational football, he's the best in the comp at it right now. That's it. Well, Collingwood are the best, but his role in Carlton to win situational football, if you're close in a game late, you just know you can kick it down the line. That was great. Yeah, good win by the Blues. Good game by the Saints. They looked funny on the MCG, as I said. And yeah, just a good game. Darth, there was a part in this game, I reckon there was 8 Saints on the screen that I've never seen before in my life. They have some forklift drivers out. They're like Collard and Max Hall and Caminiti.
Ryan Burns.
They were like, when Jack Higgins got subbed off, they were like pressing and like going up on the mark. I'm looking at the screen, I'm like, who are these blokes?
Liam O'Connell.
I swear they were on my site working with me on Friday, Arvo, and then they're out played on the G. I'm like, who are some of these guys? So the Saints are, we always say they're a merit and a butters away from having a crack at the premiership, but they still need to get some more guys. As you said, it's good to see Philippou back.
Jeff.
He loves it. He absolutely loves it. When he kicked his second, he celebrated. Good on him. They had a real chance to win this game. It was a good game, like good stuff. I don't want to roast them too much.
Jeff, I don't want to roast this bloke too much either. I just love him and I want the best for him. But how many more weeks does Jesse Motlop stay in the side? He had 6 touches and played the entire game.
I think Corey Durden's absolutely flown past him.
Yep. Will White?
As a small forward. Will White's looking good. He kicks a goal every week. Yeah.
I just honestly go back to the twos and try and kick 3 bags of 3.
Go, yes. 3 every week for the next month.
Jack Higgins does it every week in the AFL.
And give him a couple of chances in the twos where he's in the 50 by himself and you kick it to grass and let him work on his craft. Like, yeah, I agree.
I want him to get better. Like Frankie Evans is there as well. I'm like, no. We've got too many of them.
Evans.
I want Ben Camporale to come in. He meant to have a really good game in the twos. So I want him to come in and just keep, if you're on the edge and you're not playing that well, let's get a few other guys in there that are super hungry. Do you have any odds in this one?
Yeah, so Charlie Curnow for 3 was $1.85. Mackay for 3 was $2.90. Philippou for 2 was $2.50.
Love these work.
Sharman for 2 was $2.30. Lewis Young for 2 was $6. Jack Sinclair for 1, which we said on the pod. We absolutely love Sinclair to kick 1. We actually loved him to kick 2, but he kicked 1. He was $3.15. Nas for 30 was $3, and Jackson Binns for 20 was $2.50. So some good odds there. It's a hard game to win a multi, but good odds. Good game. Let's move on. Let's get into Melbourne Hawthorn, where the Hawks ran over the D's in the last quarter. They've ended up winning by 35 points, which is unbelievable. As a hand up Hawthorn hater, this game frustrated me so much. The D's were so much better in the first half, and they just kicked their game into smithereens. I think they kicked 6 points in a row in the second quarter before they finally kicked a goal. They were all gettable. It was so frustrating to watch. And then the worst umpiring decision I've ever seen, not paid. Have you seen it yet?
Yeah, the trip.
Oh my God. So Cozzy Pickett just does Hardwick, all ends up, and fucking dirty dog Hardwick just reaches out and grabs his ankle, trips him up in the goal square. How the umpire misses that. First of all, it's the weakest piss thing to do on the football field is just grab someone's ankle so he can't run. Like, it pissed me off. And then for it to not get paid, I was so angry. And then the D's just run out of steam. They've got fitness questions. I don't know what the hell Clayton Oliver's doing. He's just trotting out there doing cardio. He played like the whole game in the mid. He had like 8 touches. Petrarca was good again, but this game frustrated me so much.
Hardwick's done the old professional free kick. It's like, oh, well, he's going to kick it anyway. I may as well stand on the mark. And he's like, nah, they didn't pay it. I actually don't know how, with 2 or 3 umpires there, or like, I know the goal umpire isn't allowed to award free kicks, but I was like, it was a big time in the game where it's like, oh, the D's are going to get going.
They were playing so well, the D's.
On you, every game Cozzy plays, I know Melbourne aren't winning all of them. His stocks are going up.
He's a gun. He's a fucking gun.
That goal he kicked towards the end of the game as well to put him in front. But as you said, Jev, it was a game where the Hawks weren't playing their best. And then if you shoot yourself in the foot, which the D's did, bad kicking's bad football.
Yeah.
And the Hawks just ran over the top. Gunston did not even look like sighting a goal, like in the third quarter. And then Big Daddy just went through, what did he finish with? 3 goals.
3 goals, 4.
Langford, Jev, he's going to be, he went back and he kicked, what was his second goal was a set shot. You're looking at him, and obviously he looks like a boy now, but when they look at like videos of like Nathan Buckley and stuff and they go back like, geez, he looked like a kid there.
Yeah.
I'm looking at him like, geez, Harvey Langford already looks like a man sort of.
Yeah.
He's only going to get a little bit bigger. He's going to fill out after a few more preseasons. And he just looks like someone and plays like someone that you're going to be like, he's going to be like a face of the league type player.
Yeah,
like instantly.
You remember the preseason call where I was saying like, the Luke Hodge, like it looks like Melbourne have got their Luke Hodge in Harvey Langford.
Yeah.
And he does that against the Hawks. And you're like, yeah, he's going to be a guy. Like he's a star. Good on him. It wasn't anything absolutely special from Hawthorn.
Nope.
They're just so confident where it's no one's really getting, like, look at the touches. No one's really getting 30s. It's more everyone gets 20. Look at all the guys that had 20 plus touches. So you've got Weddle, Ward, Impey, Sicily, CJ, D'Ambrosio, Warble. When they win it, that wave comes off the half back line and they just share it around until they can get it in deep, and it's Gunston and it's Nick Watson and it's Marbiot Chol, and eventually they score. Dylan Moore started to look back to life. Yes, his stat line doesn't look amazing, but he played a bit more as a small forward again, and he was a bit deeper, probably trying to get him a bit back into form. So he's kicked 1 goal, 18 touches. That's more than Dylan Moore remember last year. 2 goals, 20 touches every week. He doesn't need to be a midfielder as much. He's a 2-goal, 20-touch half forward, and he's probably the best in the comp at doing it. So just another professional win for the Hawks. They get it done. Geez, I hate them, but I don't care. They're so good. They're going to be there.
All right, Jev. So you came up to me a couple of weeks ago. So this is obviously the next game. So Essendon, Swans. A few weeks ago, Jev, you're like, you know what? I've got an idea. This is going to be awesome. Happens every year. The annual ass kicking. We'll get Swans on the back to win. Heaney for 20-1, Warner for 20-1. You know who we're versing? The Bombers. We're versing Ray Romano, the worst back pocket in the comp in McGrath. We're versing Setafidis onto his 3rd club, I think. Zach Reed, yeah, he's still young, but he's still not that good. We've got Redmond playing for him prior, Jeff. They've got no one. Darcy, you're like, they are no bloody good. I'm going to get 10 tickets. I'm going to bring the family along. The shirt there, messaging the boys. We've got cheese platters there. We're going to have an absolute day out. Oh, the arse-licking Bombers, they're going to be waving to me at 3/4 time as they go. Yeah, with me cheese platter. Give him some ham and bickies on the way out, Jeff. They got absolutely touched up like your redheaded stepson. You guys, it was embarrassing for you. I looked at the scores early in the second quarter. I said, shit, what happened? And I can just imagine your face. Then I quickly check my phone, and we have about 800 DMs just being like, Jeff, you have got egg on your face, my man. How did it feel taking your family to the annual ass kick and getting your ass kicked?
Do you know how dumb I looked? Do you know how stupid I looked?
Yeah.
So I got cousins in Albury. They're coming down for the game. They're Bomber supporters. I'm like, yeah, come. You're going to regret it. Come on down. My family, all Swan supporters. Oh, the Swans are so bad. It's so frustrating. I don't even know what to say. Like, first they just pumped us around the footy.
Yep.
And then they just weren't missing goals. And we were missing sitters, and we just weren't good enough, and we're just not good enough. And it makes me, and it's the same with Pat Cripps, and it makes me realise how good Isaac Heaney's season was last season and Pat Cripps' season was last season. Now that they only get like 19, 20 touches, Cripps was all right the other night, but there's no more 30, 35 touch games. It's like 22, 23s, and you're like, oh, Chad's still been good, but I've got to give. Like, how wrong am I going to be on Nate Caddy? He's going to be a star.
Yeah, I was going to say, I'll turtle on his back, Caddy.
We've got Kyle Langford, Rangford for 1 goal in the multi. He stinks still. Peter Wright stinks as well. But Caddy star, and just they're all kicking goals. I'm going to go through the odds in a minute of all the guys that kick goals. They were just good. They were really good under the lid. They built themselves up. They had a good game plan. You know, when you're at the game and a team's playing well, it looks like they've got 25 guys out in the field to your 18 when the pressure's right. That's just what it looked like from where I was sitting. Looks like Essendon knew how to defend us, and they just looked like they had more guys on the field. The Swans gave absolutely no respect to that Saad Al-Hali or whatever his name is. They were just leaving him out in the wing, giving him the Louis Young treatment out in the wing, going nowhere near him, and just... it was just so frustrating.
I just want to know, this year, has that been the most disappointing watch of the Swans this year or in recent memory?
Nah. That game wasn't as bad as some of the games we've played this year. Like, Bombers were hot and they were kicking snags. We were missing. But, like, once we finally started playing our game, we gave ourselves a chance to win in the end. You think we lose by 11 points. Aaron Francis misses from a metre out.
That's the best miss I've ever seen.
It's the worst miss
I've ever seen.
He's a metre out. He snaps and it goes over the post for a point. He kicks that 2 minutes ago. We're only 5 points down. Like, you never know. Like, it's like we can roast the Swans. And but Zach Merritt has a shocker. James Jordan probably gets him, but he still kicks 2. He has so many big moments. Like, I love players that aren't playing their usual blinder, but when their moment comes, they nail it. And he just nailed his moments. Nate Caddy nailed his moments, and we just let him run all over us. And it's like the inexperience of Corey Warner and Caden Cleary and some of these guys are just showing. Like, Mason Redmond licked their lips on on whoever he was on with his 30 touches. Andrew McGrath, there was a couple of times because I was sitting at one end. Chad was playing one out on Andrew McGrath with no one within 100 metres of him. Isaac Heaney as well. And I was at the ground. I was licking my lips like, get this down here quick and we'll end in a goal. And we just couldn't get it. Couldn't get them the opportunities to take advantage. And yeah, the Bombers under the lid, they're just good. I'm actually happy for the Bombers. Like, that was a good win. That was a really good win.
Got to give a little shout out, Jeff. As you said,
pants.
you boys did fire back towards the back end and actually did try and make it a little bit interesting. I know all the Bombers fans would have been in the stands being like, ah, shit, here we go again. But Nate Caddy, Jeff, every single week he's presenting better and better. But McGrath, this is what he does once a year. He'll come out and he'll have a million kickouts. If not, he'll come out and just play the ball really well. He'll just get, this is why when he got drafted, this is what we all thought in his first season. Do you remember his first season? Everyone's like, he's going to be a jet. Yeah. He's going to be a gun. And he just gone away from that. So get the ball in his hands, get him running. And then everyone looked like they were on the same game plan. Like, let's try and run the Swans off their legs. They hit the scoreboard early. As you said, good kicking is good football. And that's what it was early. What was it? 9 goals, something. So the 9 goals won. And you can tell when you get your tail up, that's your insurance. And then you can either have a little bit more of a stab at it and you can bite off a few of these kicks to whether, all right, let's try and run the door open now. But then as the Swans, Jeff, did, they do come back, but it was all over.
But like, you look at the final score, so they've kicked 11 goals, 5. We've kicked 8 goals, 15. So, like, that's 23 scoring shots to 16. Like, we got our game going. We had our chance, but just missing too many shots. And the Bombers were like 9 goals, 1 to 2 goals, 4 at halftime. It felt all over at halftime. Like, no, we'll have a crack, and just didn't take our chances. Jesus, it was frustrating. There was one umpiring decision that nearly killed me. Thought the umpires were fine. It was the Kako goal. He picked it up, got tackled, dropped it, threw it, and it was not holding the ball. Then Caden Cleary tackled him, picked it up, got tackled, dropped it, threw it, and got paid holding the ball, went for a goal. I was like, oh, why didn't the Kako one get paid? Anyway, it wasn't the difference in the game. They played really well. I was speaking to a couple of Bomber supporters. They were happy to give me a bit of shit, as I deserved all of it. If you
Are the Swans playing finals?
I'm telling you, I'm not quitting on them until I see them play with like Amadi, Mills, Errol, Robbie Fox, Lewis Malikan, Tom Papley. Like these guys, Harry Cunningham. They're all in our best 22. They all played grand final day last year.
It's good not to give up on them, but right now, if you had $1,000, yes or no? You had to bet on it?
No, I'd have the $1,000 on the no, but I'm not quitting on them.
Yes, don't give up, but
I'm not quitting on them. I still think they can finish 8th, even though we just looked at the 8. It doesn't look, but yeah, they're not that good, are they? And yeah, all credit to the Bombers. They were good. They were just tougher. They were better. If you're a Bombers fan, Das, how much would you love, or just any other team, would you love a guy like Sam Durham on your team?
Yes.
I just love him. He's passionate. He's aggressive. He's physical. He loves the contest. And his ego's not big enough of like, he's the man. He stands on the Chads and he stands on the Isaacs and he does his job there, then makes people pay the other way. Bomber supporters must absolutely love Sam Durham. I swear they haven't had a guy like this in a while. I'd like him so much more than Darcy Parish. I hope if Darcy Parish doesn't come back in the side, he pushes Durham out of the midfield. I love watching him. Love how much he cares.
Missing
a goal right in front of me and he just went off. I'm like, good on you.
Before you get into some odds, missing persons unit. I'm dead set. Where is Darcy Parish? The Bombers don't post anything like a training pic. What's his update? Is he coming back? Like when he's out of the side, you don't know where is he in Bali?
Where is he?
Is he in Turkey? What's he doing?
I don't know.
Jeff, does anyone know where Darcy Parish is? Because I know his brother plays in the Geelong League. And I'm like, geez, that guy looks like Darcy Parish.
Is he running water or something?
It's his brother. Plays in the ones. So there you go. So, Jeff, do you have some odds for me?
Yeah, so Nate Caddy for 3 was $4. Nice. Haywood for 2 was $1.95. Merritt for 2 was $6.50. Good. So you would have made some money here. So Grundy for 1 was $3.15. My best bet before the game, I put in our Discord, add Grundy for 20 in all your multis. He was $2.30. But even Goldstein looked good against him. Goldstein had a good game. Grundy had a good game. When Grundy kicked that snag, sorry for ruining those, the snag in the second quarter, and it was an absolute banger of a goal. Isaac Kenny slipped over for about his 8th time. You should have seen how many times he slipped over Das. What boots did he have on? Ice skates or rollerblades or something?
Yeah.
Grundy kicked the snag. I looked up in the score. He kicked his mint goal. The score was 43-16. Oh, he had scored 10 points up until that point. I'm like, for fuck's sake. Anyway, Grundy 315. Archer Day Wicks in his first game was $3 for a snag. Durham was $2.45. Redmond was $4. Saad Al Harley was $7, and Corey Warner was $2. That's just for one goal.
Nice.
Nick Martin for 35 was $21. Andrew McGrath, you couldn't even get him for 35. He was 14 for 30. Redmond was 14 for 30. Setterfield was $3.75 for 25. Archie Roberts, who I don't know who he is, was $3 for 25. And it was the Zach Reid legacy game, Das. He was amazing. He marked everything. I think he had 14 marks or something. I look at the stats before. He was $29 for 25 touches. Would have been so nice. His family will be eating lobster tonight, or they'll be at Nobu for Mother's Day tonight, Zach Reid's family. And Brodie Grundy was $2.30 for 20, as I said. So happy for the Bombers. They were in the 8 overnight until GWS took their spot back. Do I think they're making the 8? No, I don't, but I can see it with them. I can see it with Caddy. I'm glad the Swans tagged Zach Merritt. They limited his impact a little bit. If they didn't tag him, you look at Martin's 35, McGrath's 35, Redmond's 30. Imagine if Merritt got off the chain. That could have been a 45 piece the way they were running around with the ball. So I'm glad we tagged him. He just had his moments, took that big contested mark, went back and slotted. They just love him as the captain. They love Durham. Ben Mackay is starting to play better as well. You can't we rip him when he's bad. When he's playing better, we've got to give him some praise. Zach Reid legacy game. They're missing Jordan Ridley, so that backline's getting there. And Nate Caddy's looking good. Kako has his moments. So I'm happy for the Bombers, So I am happy for them. I'm not being a dog here. They are better than the Swans this year. The annual ass kicking will have to wait for next year now. I think. I don't know if we play him again.
You only play him once this year.
Yeah, I'm shattered because I printed off 2 T-shirts unless we get him in the finals or something, which won't happen.
Oh, God. All right, Jeff, let's go up to the Northern Territory. So it doesn't matter who you are. If you're the Bulldogs, if you're the Pies, if you're the Brisbane Lions, if you're Hawthorn, it doesn't matter. If you're going to go up there and you're going to verse the Suns, you're probably going to get your ass whooped. Not really whooped, but they're just going to win. It was 10 points in the end. This was actually an awesome game. It wasn't as slippery as what it usually is up there in the Territory. It was nice and clean, and it was a really fun game to watch. Now, I did say on the pod, Jev, I'm like, I reckon 7 blokes could have over 25 touches because there's so much congestion that there's so many stoppages and so many blokes get their hands on it, especially their midfielders. We had Libba finish the game with 35, Bailey Dale 31, Ed Richards 31, Bont 28 and 1 goal 3, Anderson 28, Miller 24, and then a heap of guys on 24 after that. So we were close. I think we had 6 players, but this is an awesome game. And I saw someone, I can't remember whose tweet it was this morning, or maybe it was Damien Barrett, or I can't remember where it was, but when people try and talk about when you got to get your stars in the building, and then that's the one that changes, like try and get Judd to Carlton or like whatever you might do. But the pickup of Rioli and Noble is unbelievable. We said for the Hawks, battle and Barras, but the fact we're talking about the Suns, Jeb, they are so much better just having a bit of reassurance and 2 guys that can hit targets.
Yep.
The amount of times that last year they were the worst team going inside 50. Now they just lower the eyes. They can go to Bailey Humphrey. They can go to King. And King's usually, he's been so reliable. He just gets out in front, goes back. He's very much similar to a Nick Larkey type. You just want the ball in his hands because usually he's a beautiful set shot. But it was a tough game. And another one, Jev, I know you're going to touch on it, but the best bet in football, and I can't believe the Blues let him go, Kennedy just pops up. He kicked 3. He kicked 3 before halfway through the second quarter, and he just gets involved, so involved. So on this game, there is nothing wrong about what the Dogs are doing. We don't have to rip the Dogs. I still thought they played a really good game. Bont just didn't hit the scoreboard. Unfortunately, they just got the Suns up in the Territory. That's what happens. They just got terrorized in the Territory. Yeah. So it was still a pretty good game to watch. Riley Westjev is really coming through, though. He's having an awesome season.
Winning 7 in a row at Darwin is so impressive. And they got the Hawks next week, and I'm betting on the Suns head-to-head. They're so good up there. They're just a good side. Beating the Dogs is a good win as well. The Dogs are awesome. So good. And yeah, as you said, you look at the touches, it was all Dogs, but Suns just found a way to win. They're just a better side now. I'm so happy for them. I was so pissed. I was that drunk watching this game.
Oh, drunk.
No, drunk. I was smashed. This was a bit of the lights were on, but nobody was home watching this game. So I saw it and I was watching it. I don't have much insight on it, but I'll give you some odds. So Ben King to kick 3 was $2.10. Matt Kennedy to kick 3 was $29. Right in stone right now, we are having Matt Kennedy for 1 goal in the 100K next week. He's kicking them every week. Riley West for 2 was $2.30. Will Graham for 2 was $5. Holman for 2 was $10. Flanders for 2 was $4.50. Nice. And Davidson for 2 was $14. There's some such good odds there. Libber for 35 was $5.50. Dale for 30 was $4. Richards for 30 was $4.25. Bont for 25 was $1.80. Anderson for 25 was $1.39, and Took for 25 was $1.65. So it's a great betting game. You and me had Bailey Humphrey to kick a goal, kick 2 goals, so we didn't win any multis, unfortunately. The over 166, the over was 178.5. We took over 166.5 at $1.42. There was 206 points kicked. I'm telling you, PointsBet could set this at 210.5 points against Hawthorn, and I'm taking the over. Yep. There's going to be points kicked this week in Darwin. It is just, it's points, it's touches, it's snags, it's multis.
Before we touch on the next game, Jev, the showdown, we've got 2 contenders for toughest thing of the year. Mark Keane's mark, which we'll touch on, but Will Graham, Jev, in this game, there's about 2 minutes to go. He comes in and pops his shoulder out, and you can see he's grimacing, and the ball's still in play, and then just jumps back on it with his arm and then gets smacked again and just grabs it again, and then they go forward with the ball. It's the toughest thing I've seen this year. He goes, pops it out, there's a contact, and just jumps straight back on it with that arm and just grabs it again.
Good on him.
Yeah, mate. It is. I think there's 2 minutes 34 to go, and I'm just like, that is the toughest thing I've ever seen. So he's a dog. He's a dog. That was an awesome game.
Good on him. Let's get to the showdown, Das. A banger, an absolute banger. The Crows get it done by 5 points. They held off Port coming late. They looked like they wanted to lose it. They were better all night, but they get it done. Yeah, what do you think?
What I find weird? So someone, it's like Anzac Day medal. There's only one.
Yeah.
Like they have 2 showdowns a year. Same as the Ross Glendenning medal. Is that how you say it? Yeah. I'm always so impressed by how you say it. You say it every week and it's like a tongue twister. I'm like, geez, you do so well to say it. But the showdown medal, like Rosie, Butters, maybe Dawson, they're going to have like 18 each before they finish their career. It just goes to one of those guys. So really happy the fact that the Crows got over the line. Port just do me head in a little bit. Horn Francis went missing for most of the game, and then his last quarter and a half, he just lit it up. He kicked an unbelievable goal. When he gets center clearances, he just looks like he's the biggest, fastest player on the field.
He's beast sometimes, isn't he?
Like a beast. He looks like an absolute beast. So, this is one for the ages. One on our bucket list. We have to go to a showdown.
I know. Look at the quarter time breakdown. It was the Crows by 3 points at quarter time, by 5 points at halftime, by 2 points at 3/4 time, and then by 5 points final term. And they did get it out to 20 points. They got Rankin for about 10 minutes. Yeah. He kicked 2. He's just a gun. He's such a gun.
Port Adelaide really missed last year, and you forget, like, I know Will Day wasn't there for the Hawks in the finals, but Sam Powell-Pepper, being back in the side, he kicked 1 goal, which was luck out of your ass. Like, you finally get a bounce from the football gods, which he snapped and went through, and his second goal was just running full tilt, read it out of a pack, 40 metres, and then goal straight through. Ben Keys, Jev, have you ever seen a more awkward man going in for a set shot than him? Jesse Hogan stutters and then he kicks it, that's fine. People that don't know how to kick a set shot, how you tell them, just imagine like you're going to go kick on the run. That's legit what he does. He goes back like 40 metres and just starts sprinting in and then just boots it. So Ben Keys, our man, he got through, but Horn Francis, I really would they would have loved to get a little bit more out of him. And Butters, it just shows how good he's in the contest. I know they lost, but he goes so fucking tough.
33
the entire
touches.
Game.
Rosie 32, awesome. Wines 31. I know they've won. You got to stop one of them at least. You can't just let them run off the chain like that. But like you look at that, they've had those touches. But then you look at the goals. Foggs kick 3, Thilthorpe 3, Keys 2, Rankin 2, Rochelle 2. Like you got to stop that as well. So yeah.
It was just a banger. And I just wish we were like, there's no one we can actually like argue or like roast. It was just an awesome game.
Yeah.
I had this one on while the other, and you just appreciated why it's on. You're like, geez, these are just two teams. Like, it's so good to watch. And it is 100% the best rivalry in footy.
Yes,
at the moment.
Let's try and go to the next showdown.
The last 4 or 5 years, this has been the number one. Do you have any odds on this one?
Yeah, I do.
All right, Jeff, for 3 goals, we had Finlayson 3, Fogarty 3, and Thilthorpe.
So Finlayson was $15, Fogarty was $2.50, and Thilthorpe was $2.50. What about 2 goal kickers?
Georgiades, Keys,
$1.55 for Georgiades. Keys was $3.10.
Darcy Byrne-Jones.
Darcy Byrne-Jones kicks it every week was $3.10.
Rankin
$3.30.
Nice. Rochelle.
Rochelle was $2.10.
Nice. And Sam Powell-Pepper.
$2.70. Geez, you could have won a big multi if you just clicked all the forwards to kick 2. I wonder if anyone out there just went on the 2 and just clicked them all to kick 2. You could have won some money.
And what about touches? So 30. So we had Butters, Rosie, and Wines.
Yep, let me get to the 30 touches. 2 secs. For 30, Butters was 210, Rosie was 230, Wines was 310. You could have made a fortune on this game.
And only other thing after this, Jeff, is for 20 touches. So it's a few left of field names, guys we probably wouldn't bet on, but Peatling, Worrell, Bergman, and Keys all for 20.
$1.65 for Peatling. Worrell was $1.95. Who was the other one?
Bergman and Keys.
Bergman was $2.50. Keys was $3.50.
Yes, Keys probably all a little bit short.
He's let us down 2 multis in a row. Then he has 20 touches. Of course he does. I had to say something quickly. Can't remember what it is. Let's move on to Sunday, Das. The Tigers hold on by a point. All right, I woke up with the worst hangover ever. Like one of those ones where I was hiding back a spew all day. I had Megan's, my partner's family, over for brekkie at 9:30. Then I'd brunch at my house. I was at my family house. I was dog shit all morning. I come home, I'm like, I'm having a nap. I don't need to watch this game. I'm asleep. I wake up in the last quarter. It is a banger. It is an absolute banger. And that tackle to finish this game was just an all-time moment. Was it Tom Brown?
Yeah.
I was happy for him. The way he just exploded, tackled the sub, Gross holding the ball. Gross probably thought, I'm about to become a West Coast legend, just finish it. He would have just run with the arms out on the buzzer. It was a cool finish. I was happy for both teams, felt like they were going to win. So it would have been a good day at the footy when it was a bit of a pretty crappy game. What'd you say?
I couldn't have loved it anymore. I think a lot of people, when they circle this game, they're like, Richmond and West Coast, this is going to be average. It was awesome. There was 15 lead changes, and it felt like 2 clubs that hadn't won a game all year, or it was to get into the finals. Like, every player felt like that, we can actually win this game. It was awesome. Tom Lynch, every time he's fit and healthy and he's in the Tigers side, he's a threat. He still didn't have his best game, but he's just such a good target up forward. Who's Ryan Mansell? Who's the other? Seth Campbell.
Yeah.
Seth Campbell is so quick. And
he's really good, isn't he?
I'm so impressed by him. I'm impressed by all their young kids.
Yeah.
I won't even get on there. Like Trainer, who else is there?
Galore.
Like Tom Brown, that tackle was awesome. Mansell, Fowl, like just all of them. Like they are so good to watch.
They've got North Melbourne's first round pick next year.
Do they?
Yeah, North Melbourne traded the lot to get up, and I can't remember who they took, but they gave Richmond their first rounder. So they're probably going to finish 3rd last now. They're probably better than North and West Coast. They're going to finish 3rd last. North will finish 2nd last. They're going to have picks 2 and 3 going into the draft.
Look, honestly, so impressed by the Tigers, but let's roast West Coast for a little bit.
They stink.
Bro, how bad are they? How bad are they? They haven't won a game.
I've got Richmond least wins in my best bet of the year. That's over now. West Coast had to win today for that to be a chance. Now they've got 3 wins. West Coast have none. Like, that's over now. They are not winning more games than Richmond. Richmond hit their over for the season. It was only 2.5. They've hit their over already. Like, good on them. Yeah, West Coast stink.
If the Tigers can get a lot more, like, as I said, just try and get 50 games as fast as you can into all these young players.
Yeah.
And then just become the Grim Reaper the next 2 years. It's like, we're not making finals.
Take scalps, yeah.
But neither are you.
Take scalps, and then they'll be ready. It'll click, and they'll just be good. Hope Torino's still there.
Sam Layla looks like he's like 25.
Yeah, he does, doesn't he? He looks 25 already.
from when they showed his tape from Vic Country last year at halftime. From then, even when he got drafted, but as soon as he shaved his head, he aged like 6 years.
Yeah.
He's a fucking bull.
Yeah.
But they are so bad. Jeff, how do you reckon your man went today? Number 28 for West Coast? Tommy Cole. I ask every week.
I've got no idea who 28 for West Coast is. Tom Cole.
Tom Cole, Jeff. He plays every week.
Tom Cole, Harry Edwards. I love Sandy Brock. I love Brady Huff as well. I like some of their guys. Tom Cole.
Jeff, Tom Cole, I'm pretty sure he played in the flag.
I'm
pretty sure he played in the flag for West
in the
Coast.
2018 grand final side. And I still don't know who he is.
Pretty sure.
Oh.
Yeah, I got some odds for you. So Cripps for 3 goals, professional forward, Jeb, 575. Always kicked 2 at 340. Lynch 2 at $1.36. Mansell 2 was $2.15. Big Bailey Williams went forward, kicked 2 goals, which was $15. Seth Campbell for 2 was $1.83. And Sims in his first game was $1.48. He was so happy with his work. He had an interview with Ruby Slicer at the end. And God, he was happy with himself for 25 touches. Banks was $10. Taranto was $1.53. Ryan Marich, Jev, $2.40. And then for 20 touches, there wasn't much. Hopper was $1.13. Duggan was $2.15. Graham was $2.65. And Baker was $1.22. But if I was a Tigers fan, I'd be so happy to go watch. And you know what else?
Game, yep.
You get great time slots. You get Saturday early games or Sunday early games.
I know. Are they better than the Swans? I think they are. We play them at the G round 12. That is a game you take the Tigers money line. I'm telling you.
Yep.
Unless we get everyone back. What the fuck? Anyway, we've already touched on the Geelong GWS game, and then we recorded while this game was on, so we didn't see anything, but it finishes a draw. A draw to us. I don't know what happened. I didn't see a minute. We were recording. We were watching the GWS game. I don't know anything about this game. We've just been on here. So it's been a draw, 71-71. Zorko's had 39 touches, LDU 32. LDU's best game in ages. Hitwood's kicked 3, Rayner 3, Zerha 2, Darling 2. I wonder what's happened here. I'd love people in the comments, if they're listening to this, we generally didn't watch this game, so let us know what happened. Good on North. Hey, could anything be North Melbourne? They play the grand finals in Tassie, and they don't even get the full 4 points. They only get 2. It's a draw. They just couldn't find the way to win.
Morgs quickly called why the internet was buggering up, and I'm just like, oh my God, it's a draw. He's like, yeah, both teams had 2 chances late to finish it, and they both took it. So I can't wait to watch it.
Odds on it?
Yeah, I'll get them up. You read some out. I'll go Zorko. I know Zorko had 35. Yeah, so he was $7.50.
For 35. LDU 30.
$3.40.
Now go to 25 touches. Jasper Fletcher.
He's going to be a star. $5.
Now go to 20 touches.
We got some cash here, you reckon?
Yeah, Charlie Comben,
$7. Nice.
$7. There you go. Yeah, well, that's the week of footy, Das. We've had a few technical difficulties on this pod, so I hope it comes out all right. We're so sorry if it doesn't. We'll just blame ourselves.
Yeah, we'll blame it. Guess what? We're getting our internet revved up next week, so we'll make sure everything's Mickey Mouse, the cameras, the laptops, everything's getting a tune up. We'll be back next week with a roast. Thank you guys for listening.
Let's go. See you next week.
What are you prepared to lose today? For free and confidential support, call the number on the screen or visit the website.